Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. So, I always thought an interesting question would to be what happens when silver hits $100? So, today we're going to look into this from a mining standpoint, industrial standpoint, financial, economical, investing, and even media. Let's go into this. Let's dive into the difference, just the different areas that silver would be affected or how silver's price could be affected and also what would be the outcome in the world. So, I kind of planned this video out, brainstormed a little bit in my notepad, and it was actually pretty interesting because it's actually not out of the realm of impossibility or even wouldn't be that surprising within the next 10 years if silver would reach $100. I mean, not even 10 years ago, it was $50. A lot of people don't remember that. So, especially the way that we are headed in the world financially, politically, industrially, technologically, it's not out of the realm of impossible. And when I was researching this and kind of looking into it, there's also some other really important factors that are happening right now as we speak that I've been covering the last couple days that could also be huge, influencers on silver's price being extremely impactful. When I was going over the silver supply, how it's diminishing, how it's literally we're dropping millions of ounces per year in silver supply or in production, globally. This is stuff that easily could be, taken out of context or not taken as seriously as it is. I mean, back in 2011, the mining production, the silver supply was much higher than it is today, so it's even more possible, much more likely that it could happen within the next couple, years. Not trying to be a silver pumper, not saying it's going to jump $100 overnight, but it's definitely not an impossibility. So, anyways, though, let's jump into this video. So, from a mining standpoint, I've been covering this. I made a three-part video series yesterday talking about silver supply. First, I talked about how it is, I went over this article, talked about the charts, just talking about, that it's dropping, millions of ounces. The three top countries producing silver, which is Peru and Chile, and I think somewhere else, I think it might be Mexico, they are literally just cutting off silver. No silver, there's no main silver mines. They're focusing more on gold, silver. If they do find silver, it's from bypass, by accident. Um, and they are focusing more on lead, zinc, copper, stuff like that because silver's not as profitable. And money is the main motivation when it comes to mining. So they're not even digging it out the ground. And then I made a video which was kind of summarizing, what I thought about that and the severity of the situation. So if silver starts to reach, starts to appreciate and starts to, rise in value, even over a gradual period of time, it could even be starting now at finally breaking past $17. Hopefully, miners will find more profitability in it and start to focus more on silver again. I think it's individual. Miners do still focus on single silver mines, but besides that, they are basically throwing their gloves away and focusing on other more impactful or I guess profitable assets. So from a mining standpoint, $100 silver would be extremely profitable, and I definitely think that they would focus more on it. From an industrial standpoint, you have to think these big businesses, they still need silver. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. It performs better than any other metal in technology. And the way that the technological world we're advancing in is growing so fast with cell phones, laptops, everything, electric cars, EVs, space equipment, dental alloys, even the medical world. We need more and more silver. So even if silver is $100 from an industrial standpoint, these big business corporations, they still need to use it. Nothing else is even close to as cheap as silver is, even at $100. And that's, very important to take note on because, think about gold. Gold is $1,500 and it's still used in technology. I mean, it's a smaller portion, and a lot of it's used for jewelry and more of a commodity. But they still use gold in cell phones. I used to scrap gold out of my cell phone personally, me. And that's $1,500. So $100 is a lot more rationable than $1,500. So they're still going to be needing it. And if they switched another metal besides silver, I think that our technology, our products, our gadgets would be a lot more expensive. The retail value would go up. So, for a consumer, it's definitely beneficial for us. So that's something that I was kind of thinking about, and it's definitely true though. And they still need to use it. It's not like we're just gonna stop using silver. Everyone still needs it no matter what the price is. So from a financial standpoint, if the dollar weakens because of hyperinflation, this could be a huge driver in silver's price going up. Not from the financial standpoint or the spot price point of view from it, but because people are investing more into silver. See, this can be taken out of context because if the dollar weakens, you would think that $100 silver would be harder because the dollar's weakening, you couldn't purchase enough of it or enough with it. But it's actually flip-flopped. Since the dollar is weakening, more people will be pushing towards precious metals, towards silver as a term or as an alternative for the dollar collapsing, pushing the prices higher, making it actually even more valuable than it is because the dollar's purchasing power would be losing its value. So that's one that's it's kind of different to think about, but historically, even looking back, the same things have happened. Look at the year 2000 that led up to $50 silver. There's a lot of things happening in the economy and financially that drove the prices to that point. So economically, this is one that I hope you guys will be able to understand. So I'm going to compare this to Bitcoin because this is the best comparison. I was trying to think how I can bring a rational comparison for you guys to understand what I mean from this. So $100 silver would almost not even be that shocking, especially if it happens gradually because people get desensitized to the prices. For instance, when Bitcoin hit $20,000, yes, there was a lot of people talking about it, but people were still paying $20,000 for the Bitcoin. And that's because people get desensitized. Once it hit $5,000, in a couple of days, it would rise up to 5,500. And then by next week, it's 6,000. So yes, it jumped $1,000, but over time, people get used to the prices. Then it jumps to 7,000. A couple weeks later, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. The next thing you know, it's at 14,000. And by that time, you're so used to the prices gradually rising that you forget that it was $4,000 last month. So if it would have jumped automatically from 4,000 to 20,000, people would have thrown a tantrum. But since it's over time and it slowly rises, people have time to adjust and get desensitized to the price. Same thing would happen with $100 silver. Yes, if silver jumped from $17 to $100 overnight, we'd be like, what the heck? But over the next coming months, if it's a slow, gradual increase, people get used to it. Oh, silver's at $40. That's great. Oh, it hit $50. $70 comes, oh, and then when it hits $100, you're already used to it. You're desensitized to such a high price that it's almost, you're still willing to pay it, or a lot of people would probably be capitalizing, but people would still be buying it at that price as well. So that's a weird thing to think about, but it's definitely true, and I personally think that's how it would happen. It wouldn't be as shocking as people think. Look back to when silver was $50 in 2011. That was a very quick jump. It shot up basically overnight to $50, and people still thought it was going to keep going higher. I was reading articles from that time period when it was in 2011. I made a video talking about it, reading articles. Different people were putting their perspective on the prices and their opinions, and they were betting that it was going to keep going higher than that. So it's just some interesting stuff. From a market investor standpoint, I definitely think precious metals enthusiasts, people that invest in gold and silver, are still going to keep buying. Obviously, people might start capitalizing on it. I'm curious what the paper side of it would be, though. I feel like it would throw things off a little bit, especially for like ETFs, and even stock markets would be thrown off from this because everything would be changing. Everything would be going to silver and gold instead of stocks, and I'm just curious how that would happen. This is one there's a lot of gray area just because $100 is so much different than even $50. It's literally double the price. So I'm curious how it would affect the economy or even from a market investor standpoint. For precious metals people, I'm sure that we would love to see this, especially people that have hundreds, if not thousands, of ounces would definitely be cashing out, probably retiring. But other people that get in later to later on the boat that haven't really been purchasing silver yet, having to pay $50 for an ounce, those people would probably be still buying, hoping that it goes even higher than that. So from the media standpoint, they're definitely going to be running a train with this. It would be everywhere. I definitely think that this would also be driving a lot of people to buy it. Like when Bitcoin was $20,000, more people were buying it than selling it, and that's because the media was covering it. Bitcoin's exploding, and then all that hype gets around, the word of mouth gets around, and then that makes everyone else want to buy it that doesn't have any yet, thinking that's going to keep going higher. So it's usually buy low, sell high, but in most instances, it's actually people buying high and then having to sell when it drops back down after the crash or after the correction. It's silly how that is, but that's just the reality of it. So I'm curious what you guys think about this video. Do you think there's any other categories or any other things that I didn't address? And I'm curious to hear what your perspective is on it. $100 silver definitely isn't out the realm of impossibility. I definitely think it's possible, not within the next 5 years, but I definitely think within 10, 15 years, we could definitely be seeing it. And like I said, it would not be a shocker. It'd probably be something we're desensitized to over time as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. I might post another video today. I don't know. Check out my video I posted earlier this morning as well. It's an interesting video, kind of going apart from this, talking about if silver might have a pullback soon. So I'm trying to look at different angles and try to really keep an unbiased, open perspective on all the possibilities that happen within the world of precious metals. But anyways, though, this was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. Peace.